What's up, guys? Welcome to Southern Hike. I'm Taylor.
I'm Rachel.
And today is day number 7 on the Wonderland Trail. This is video number 4, the final video as we knock out these final 2 days. This is a 93-mile loop around Mount Rainier National Park in Washington. And yeah, we stayed at Golden Lakes last night. Beautiful area, bunch of little lakes, ponds. One right there by patrol cabin where a ranger was there all night. He said he was on a 6-day patrol at that cabin. So I think a mosquito was getting me just in. Lots of bugs out here. But anyways, it was a pretty cool experience. There's a lot of people there. Really perfect spot to swim if you wanted to. Only sucky thing is they're definitely trying to keep the meadows intact. So you have one little spot to be able to drop off and one of the ponds to be able to get water. It was crystal clear water, but a little tricky to get to it, and it was a long ways from camp, but we made it work. Anyways, if you're just tapping into these videos, make sure to start back from the beginning. This is video number 4 and the final one, like I said. Today, we will be doing 12 miles to South Puyallup River. That is our final campsite. Tomorrow, we will hike out to Longmire. So guys, strap in. Let's see what we get into today. Hopefully not too crazy inclines, declines, but on this trail, you're pretty much signing up for that for every day. So as you tell right now, I'm going up an incline. Anyways, let's see what we're seeing today. Now, as we finish out these last couple of days in this final video, I want to kind of go over some things about the trail. And if you're interested in doing this trail, this info could be helpful to you, or if you're just learning about the trail, there's just some insight stuff about the trail. But anyways, through this video, I'll kind of mention a couple different topics. And the first one I want to talk about is something I kind of mentioned in the earlier videos. I want to kind of go through again. So we've been trying to do this trail for a little over 3 years. It wasn't that we didn't get the lottery, but that this stuff kept getting in the way. Last year we had really planned to do it, but then we found out we were having our little baby boy and it just wasn't going to work. This year he's old enough to stay with his grandparents, spend the week there and enjoy some time with them. But the way it works is between February and March each year. Now this might change in the time of this video, so you want to go on the National Parks website to confirm, but there will be a window to apply for a lottery, and then they'll have a date for the lottery. And if you do get picked, you'll get a time slot over like a 3-week period to get to pick your itinerary. So there's like this year was like this is 2023, there was like a 3-week time period. And we were at the end of the first week. So we were early on, which gave us a little bit of benefit to be able to kind of get the exact selection we wanted. And for us, we had to pick July because Rachel's mom, who was watching our son, is a teacher. So she could only do it in July. Well, one thing we've learned about this trail, and this goes for everyone, is the Indian Bar in Summerland, like I talked about before, is a very popular section. So that section of the trail is hard to get. So it really screwed up our itinerary multiple times, and we had to basically redo the itinerary at least 5 different times in July. Ended up being it counterclockwise was the best way, because we definitely wanted to stay at Summerland or Indian Bar. And also, if you don't, you got one heck of a stretch from Nickel Creek to White River, I believe, is the gap between them. And then there are 2 awesome places to stay at, as I already talked about in earlier videos. Make sure to check that out if you didn't already. So anyways, those are kind of the main things I wanted to hit on. If you have comments about or questions about those below, hit me in the comments. But yeah, that's how it works every year. And then they give half of the spots away in the lottery, and then the other half is a walk-up. But if you're like me and traveling all the way across the country, you can't depend on a walk-up permit. One thing I wanted to mention before I finalize this part of it is that when you do it online, they will not allow you to hike from campsite to campsite more than 17 miles apart. And I get it, especially being here now. This trail is extremely aggressive, and we'll talk about that later in this video. And it would be really hard on you to push longer than that. Even the most skilled hikers, I feel like I'm pretty skilled these days, but it's definitely challenging. really challenging for Rachel, who doesn't get on as much time on trail as I do. So yeah, that is about the lottery system of the Wonderland Trail. So let's talk terrain. By far some of the most technical terrain on a hike I've ever done. As far as inclines, declines, tons of climbing. And anytime you're dropping down for miles, you know that means that you're gonna be going back up. So yeah, if you're out of shape in any way, I really recommend go ahead, get on your local trails where there's incline, decline, and do a lot of miles. It would help a lot. I think because me and Rachel both run, the cardio side really is already there for it. As far as beating your feet and legs, the only way to train for that is this type of terrain, just because of all the weird angles you step on and try to work your way through. So all that to say, definitely want to be in cardio shape, but also have your legs strengthened. And know that there's a lot of technical pieces to this through hike or loop. You're gonna go through a lot of snowpack. Hang on, let me crank this up. You're gonna go through a lot of snowpack, and you're going to have to do some technical climbing up and down. Now, if you come later in the year, most of the snow is gone. But coming this time of year, as you've seen in the earlier videos, we dealt with a lot of technical snow climbing, which was fun. And I've seen in other videos where years past the snow compact was worse because they had late snowstorms. So anyways, I'm sure you've noticed through all of these videos, it can be pretty rough, but man, the views you get along the way just make it so worth it. And if that rough terrain is worth it to you, then it's still so worth doing. Now also to mention, they do a lot of work to maintain this trail, especially the river crossings from ice melt, snow melt, and glacier melt, and that helps a ton. We did the timberline, that's a national forest, so there's not as much support, and you have to forge every one of those rivers. That can be very challenging at times, especially when it's late in the day, snow melt is heavy, and it'll beat you to death. So yeah, again, comment below if you have questions about the terrain. As you see here, we took a lot of clips of the lakes. I think the lakes are one of the things we cherish the most. It was always just a gorgeous sight to see the lake and see Rainier behind it. These lakes were so peaceful and so clear and extremely cold. All right, guys, we're about to settle in for the night. Our last night on trail, baby. It's about to be the end. So we are at South Puyallup River, and one of the last river crossings before we're back to Longmire. We're gonna go ahead and get settled in, eat some dinner, chill for a little bit, and get ready for a very early morning to head to Longmire in the morning. Guys, we will see you in the morning. Well, good morning. As you can tell, right here we're near saying our final farewells. We're almost 2 miles in, coming up out of South Puyallup River, and we're about to be right here at Emerald Ridge. Definitely a nice climb out of there, very rocky. Those inclines are twice as bad as the pine needle bedded trails, so it takes twice as long. So we're about 10 miles from Longmire. The end is near. And neither one of us slept well last night. We did set the alarm for about 4 this morning, so we were already on trail before it really broke light this morning. Just to get us knocked out, because we got hot food on our mind, hot showers. I tell you, 8 days of not a shower, you start smelling things you never smelled before. And it kind of gives you that vibe of a through hiker or anybody just don't decide they want to take a shower anymore. So anyways, we are knocking this out. We are completely out of food besides snacks for the day, so that's nice. We're not carrying that weight. And I didn't even have coffee this morning. I had like a pre-workout packet that I just chugged it to get as much caffeine as I could to get going this morning, and then a protein bar for breakfast. So we're gonna keep on moving on. We'll show you what highlights we see. And I know we got one more cable bridge to go over today, so I had to tag along to see what that looks like. And I'm gonna leave some final thoughts towards the end of this video as we finish off this trail. One thing I've learned about this trail, there's always at least 5 false summits before you get to the real summit. Sometimes there could be 10 false summits. But we are on our final climb of the Wonderland Trail. It's wild to say. About halfway through it now. Just a few different switchbacks, and it's not that big of a climb, but one last time to burn you on some rock. So anyways, we're gonna keep grinding our way out of there, and then we'll get on top of a crest, and then we will make our way on down to Longmire. Well, one more thought as I'm wrapping this hike up. We're about 7 miles out right now, counting them down. Just want to say this national park is well maintained. Rangers do a great job, especially trail workers. And I think there's a lot of volunteers that work on this trail too. Very well maintained. Every major river, there is a way to cross it besides the one point they're still working on right now. I think they have to rebuild a lot of stuff each year just because of the harsh winters they get here. So anyways, just want to say thank you to the Rangers for all the work you do. They were all very kind. They answered any questions we had and gave us any trail conditions that we needed to watch out for. And one final note on the Rangers is that they do check you a lot. So make sure that you are staying accurate to your plan and you have knowledge of what you're doing. We were probably checked 6 or 7 times over the course of the entire trip, but they were all super nice, super courteous, and very helpful. Just say thank you to the national park for such a beautiful place. Well, this place decided to be mean at the end. We just went through, and still going through probably 3 miles, felt like 3 hours, 3 miles of mosquito hell. Yeah, we both got attacked really bad, and they went after my shoulders, even in my sun hoodie, really bad. And then we went by Devil's Dream, and like just crossing people, they were all in bug nets, and we were like, man, and they said it was way even worse last night. So yeah, a good way to farewell. We had mosquitoes just here and there, but never this bad the entire trail until right here at the end. So yeah, by the way, it is the 5 mile mark to Longmire. We are now 4 miles to Longmire. 3 miles, 2 miles left. Well, we just completed a 12 before 12. If you didn't know what that is, it's a through hiker term. And yeah, 1 mile to Longmire. Yes, and also want to make an honorary mention for Far Out app. Come in clutch on this trip. It was very useful. I had to pay, I think, like 20 bucks for the Wonderland trail package, I guess you'd call it. Very useful as far as water sources, as far as details about camp and comments. If you follow any AT stuff, or not just AT, but any large through hikes, Far Out is essential because that kind of gives you up-to-date stuff on what's going on ahead on trail, and especially when it comes to water sources. So if you're doing this trail, make sure to check out the Far Out app. Come on, baby.
Yes.
High five right now. Woo! Woo, it's done. We started there 8 days ago, came back right here. Guys, we have made it to the car. Oh, that vent is making it weird. What do you think, babe? Ever do it again?
No.
Rach says she's gonna need a hiatus after this trip. But anyways, we are headed to McDonald's to pig out. I know it sounds crazy when we're all the way in Washington, but we'll eat somewhere more fancy tonight. Right now, we're just gonna eat some grease. If you watch this whole series, comment below what you would get at McDonald's after a hike like this. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this series, and if you did, and if you got any questions, or if you're curious about doing this yourself, hit us up in the comments or DM us on Instagram. We'd be glad to help. It was an awesome trip. We're both very tired, ready to go home and see our boy tomorrow. And yeah, go to the hotel and get clean after 8 days of no shower. You ready to get clean? We gotta like shed a whole layer of dirt off of us. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you soon.